Hello, 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 and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about America's first black fashion designer. Her name was Anne Cole Lowe. I spoke about her on my other channel, Lifestyle and Fashion Tea, but I thought I would put it on this channel because I cannot recover my other channel for some reason. So I'm going to redo this one again. I hope you all enjoy it. And of course, what do I say all the time? I hope you learned something new today. Anne Cole Lowe was born December 14th, 1898. She was an American fashion designer, best known for designing the ivory silk taffeta wedding dress worn by Jacqueline Bouvier when she married John F. Kennedy in 1953. She was the first African American to become a noted fashion designer. Lowe's designs were popular among upper-class women for 5 decades, from the 1920s through the 1960s. Let's get into her early life. Lowe was born in rural Clayton, Alabama in 1898 to Jane and Jack Lowe. She was the great-granddaughter of an enslaved woman and an Alabama plantation owner. She had an older sister, Sally, and attended school in Alabama until she dropped out at the age of 14. Lowe's interest in fashion, sewing, and designing came from her mother, Janie, and her grandmother, Georgia, both of whom were seamstresses. They ran a dressmaking business that was often frequented by first families of Montgomery and other members of high society. Lowe's mother died when Lowe was 16 years old. At this time, Lowe took over the family business. Lowe's personal life. Lowe was married twice and had 2 children. She married her first husband, Lee Cohen, in 1912. They had a son, Arthur Lee, who later worked as Lowe's business partner until his death from a car accident in 1958. Lowe left Cohen because he opposed her having a career. Arthur Lee would go on to become Lowe's business partner until 1958. She married for a second time to Caleb West, but that marriage also ended, Lowe later said. "My second husband left me. He said he wanted a real wife, not one who was forever jumping out of bed to sketch dresses." Lowe later adopted a daughter, Ruth Alexander. In the 1930s, Lowe lived in an apartment on Manhattan Avenue in Harlem. Her older sister, Sally, later lived with her. Both were members of St. Mark's United Methodist Church. Anne Lowe's career. In 1917, Lowe and her son moved to New York City, where she enrolled at St. Taylor Design School. As the school was segregated, Lowe was required to attend classes in a room alone. However, segregation did not stop her, and she still managed to rise above her peers in school. Her work was often shown to her white peers in recognition of her outstanding artistry, and she was eligible for graduation after attending school for only half a year. After graduating in 1919, Lowe and her son moved to Tampa, Florida. The following year, she opened her dress salon. The salon catered to members of high society and quickly became a success. Having saved $20,000 from her earnings, Lowe returned to New York City in 1928. During the 1950s and 60s, She worked on commission for stores such as Harry Bendel, Mondello's, I. Magnin, Shawsonia, Neiman Marcus, and Saks Fifth Avenue. In 1946, she designed the dress that Olivia de Havilland wore to accept the Academy Award for the Best Actress for To Each His Own, although the name on the dress was Sonia Rosenberg. As she was not getting credit for her work, Lowe and her son opened a second salon, Ann Lowe's Gowns, in New York City on Lexington Avenue in 1950. Her one-of-a-kind designs, made from the latest fabrics, were an immediate success and attracted many wealthy, high society clients. Design elements for which she was known include fine hard work, signature flowers, and trapunto technique. Her signature designs are what helped her eventually become recognized for her work. In 1964, the Saturday Evening Post later called Lowe society's best kept secret, and in 1966, Ebony magazine referred to her as the Dean of American Designers. Throughout her career, Lowe was known for being highly selective in choosing her clientele. She later described herself as an awful snob, adding, "I love my clothes, and I'm particular about who wears them. I am not interested in sewing for cafe society or social climbers. I do not cater to Mary and Sue. I sew for the families of the social register." Over the course of her career, Lowe created designs for several generations of the Echelon, Rockefeller, Roosevelt, Lodge, DuPont, Post, Bouvier, Whitney, and Biddle families. Lowe created dresses to many notable black clients as well, including Elizabeth Minogue, who was a well-known pianist at the time, and Idella Coca, a member of the Negro Actors Guild. In 1947, Janet Lee Auchincloss commissioned Lowe to create debutante gowns for her daughters Jacqueline and Caroline Lee Bouvier. In 1953, she returned and hired Lowe to design a wedding dress for her daughter, the future First Lady Jacqueline Bouvier, and the dresses for the bridal attendants for her September wedding to her then Senator John F. Kennedy. Auchincloss also chose Lowe to design her own wedding dress for her marriage to Hugh D. Auchincloss in 1942. Lowe's dress design for Bouvier consisted of 50 yards of ivory silk taffeta with interwoven bands of tucking former, the bodice, and similar tucking and large circular designs swept around the full skirt. During the creation of this infamous dress, Lowe's studio flooded just 10 days before the wedding. She and her team worked tirelessly to recreate the dress. Lowe never mentioned this incident to the family, and she had to pay for any additional costs. The dress, which was $500, approximately $6,000 today, was described in detail in the New York Times coverage of the wedding. While the Bouvier-Kennedy wedding was a highly publicized event, Lowe did not receive public credit for her work until after the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Throughout her career, Lowe continued to work for wealthy clientele who often talked her out of charging hundreds of dollars for her designs. After paying her staff, she often failed to make profit on her designs. Lowe later admitted at the height of her career, she was virtually broke. In 1961, she received the Couturier of the Year award. But in 1962, she lost her salon in New York City after failing to pay taxes. That same year, her right eye was removed due to glaucoma. While she was recuperating, an anonymous friend paid Lowe's debts that enabled her to work again in 1963. She declared bankruptcy. Soon after, she developed a cataract in her left eye, and surgery saved her eye. In 1968, she opened a new store, Ann Lowe Originals, on Madison Avenue. She retired in 1972. In the last 5 years of her life, Lowe lived with her daughter Ruth in Queens. She died at her daughter's home on February 25th, 1981, at the age of 82, after an extended illness. Her funeral was held at St. Mark's United Methodist Church on March 3rd. Ann Lowe's legacy. A collection of 5 of Ann Lowe designs are held at the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. 3 are on display at the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. Several others were included in exhibition on Black fashion at the museum at the Fashion Institute of Technology in Manhattan in December of 2016. A children's book, Fancy Party Gowns, The Story of Ann Cole Lowe, written by Deborah Blumenthal, was published in 2017. Author Piper Hughley wrote an historical fiction novel by her own design, a novel of Ann Lowe, fashion designer, to the Social Register about Lowe's life. Her work has been admired by the designer Christian Dior, as well as the famous costumer Edith Head, from September 2023 to January of 2024. The Winthenthal Museum Garden and Library exhibited a collection of Ann Lowe's works from the 1920s through 1960s. Ann Cole Lowe, we are so proud of you. We stand on your shoulders. You were once a hidden secret, but now we know. Thank you. As always, I hope you have found out something new today. If you knew about Ann Cole, let me know in the comments. If you didn't, let me know in the comments. Let me know about if you read the book, if you haven't read the book, because I sure would like to get that book. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. And on the way out, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and please subscribe. And once again, I thank you for listening and watching.